Hello everyone, welcome back to the series where I recap episodes of American Horror Stories, which if you weren't aware is the 2021 spin-off of American Horror Story that follows an episode-by-episode format rather than a season-by-season one. What could possibly be next for this show? At this point, we've seen a really poorly written return to a fan-favorite location that features no returning characters from said location. We've seen a haunted film cause people to go insane and rapidly attack other audience members. So what could they possibly be tackling next, you ask? Well, I'm gonna give you a minute to guess. If you guessed a Christmas horror featuring a Santa Claus impersonator seeking revenge on a knockoff Logan Paul who filmed a literal suicide in order to gain online popularity, you'd actually be wrong. This episode is actually a stark commentary on the lengths people will go for internet fame and the admittedly easily avoidable dangers of losing your moral compass in the process. The episode serves as a chilling reminder of how risky the pursuit of online attention can truly be. The real point of the episode seems to be to get under your skin, and by that I mean by using the most annoying, disgusting, vile, antagonistic men on the planet as the main focus for 90% of the episode until Danny Trejo shows up and clears house, literally. The episode was written by Manny Coto, who, if you didn't know, wrote 10 episodes of television in less than a year between American Horror Story and American Horror Stories. This man, I'm sure, is a decent writer when given the chance to actually take his time, but oh my god, he is single-handedly the reason why this franchise was so ass in 2021. First of all, I'm sure Ryan only did this because it's cheaper to only pay one writer instead of an entire team of writers. Manny ended up being saddled with the middle 4 episodes of Stories, and then immediately jumped to the main series to co-write the final 6 episodes of Double Feature. And if you've seen Double Feature, it becomes clear here exactly why it was so terrible with the last 5 to 6 episodes. There are plenty of Christmas horror movies that this episode could have ripped off, but I think the majority of the episode is actually based on real life. All 4 of the main guys are a part of what they call the Bro House. It's an influencer house, basically. The Bro House really harkens back to the shock value hype house style videos from the mid to late 2010s. The most glaringly obvious example being when Logan Paul traveled to Japan and filmed a literal dead body where he proceeded to mock and belittle the person who was hanging from the tree. Logan Paul got major blowback for this and lost quite a lot of support at the time. It was a really huge story in the news as well. Logan lost all his sponsorships and a lot of partnerships as well, and it's really taken him years to convince people that he's a better person now. Whether or not the main character named Zin is based on Logan, it's not really confirmed nor denied. However, the episode tries its absolute hardest to get you to hate these 4 guys. I guess that's something. Like, it really does know that these people are assholes, and so I'll give it that, but that does not save the episode from being god awful. Aside from taking inspiration from Logan Paul's real-life controversies, the episode also repeats a character that American Horror Story has already dabbled in twice over. And no, I'm not talking about Zin. I'm talking about the mall Santa in the episode. Back in late 2020, early 2021, when this episode was announced, there was a popular fan theory online that speculated that the Santa Claus figure would in fact be Lee Emerson from Asylum. Now, if you need a refresher, Lee was a patient at Briarcliff Manor in the early 60s and was originally locked up for a Christmas killing spree, which saw him break into 5 houses before brutally murdering 18 people. All this happened around Christmas time 1962. By the following year, Sister Jude planned on taking a group photo including every patient at Briarcliff Manor, but when Lee attacked an orderly, he was placed in solitary confinement for an entire year. After a year away from everyone else, his prayers for release finally came when Sister Mary Eunice, who at the time was possessed by Satan, released him in order to seek revenge on Sister Jude. This went quite well for Lee because he ended up getting Jude admitted to Briarcliff Manor herself, and he eventually would end up escaping Briarcliff Manor, and we would never really hear from him again. There was speculation that Danny Trejo's character in The Naughty List would end up being a much older version of Lee, but the ages don't really match up. There was another theory that he could possibly be his son or a relative of Lee. We're not really sure to this day. There's also another small nod to this in the season Apocalypse in the 7th episode titled Traitor, when Madison Montgomery recruits Bubbles McGee, who was in the middle of filming a Christmas Christmas horror flick. In the film, Bubbles' character murders her husband for cheating before a similarly violent Santa enters and attacks her. This was seen as a small nod to Asylum, and many fans believe this film in Apocalypse was based on Lee Emerson's killing sprees in the 60s, which allegedly continued after he broke out of Briarcliff. So these 4 incels begin to notice that their popularity has started to decline. So they do what any rational person would. They go and try to film somebody as they try and jump off of what the locals call Suicide Bridge. Now, is this exactly what Logan Paul did in real life? No, he didn't film somebody genuinely in the moment, but he did film a dead body. These guys are so proud of themselves after they film this genuine suicide, so they return to their house and a little bit later on hold a viewing for their quote biggest video yet. The video quickly goes viral for all the wrong reasons, and all the members of the bro house are filled with regret for what they've done, not because of, you know, the genuine disgusting thing that they did, but more so the fact that people didn't like it and they're starting to lose all their support. Their next PR stunt is to queerbait.
Seriously, you're shredded, dude. If I wasn't into chicks, I'd have to hold myself back, man. No homo.
They're mainly trying to gain a larger female audience, but obviously this doesn't work because they're not gay. Desperate for more attention, they decide to head to their local mall to visit Santa's workshop. The elf employees attempt to get them to leave, but they continue to film Zin as he makes fun of Santa and the surrounding elves. Security forces them to leave, but Santa watches on at them ominously. Basically, the Bro House's new video on the mall Santa is the final nail in the coffin for the Bro House. They watch their subscriber count fall and fall and fall. Their viewers are leaving awful comments down in their posts, which is just something I don't think I would ever do. Eventually they get a call from the police stating that the Santa they filmed at the mall is wanted for murder, and they're like, oh. So the guys sit in their house unsure what to do about the possibility of them being hunted by this deranged killer. After an argument between the 4, one of them decides to go looking for food and finds a hidden camera placed in the back of his mini fridge. Shortly after, he is confronted by Santa, who spins his head all the way around, subsequently killing him. The rest of the members see this footage of their friend being killed, which has already been posted to their channel, and they immediately think it's a prank done by the guy. After trying to delete the video, the others think it might not be just a prank because it pops right back up again. So Zin decides to go and investigate further. He finds himself in the presence of the perpetrator, and before he knows it, he's beaten almost to a pulp and tied together with a string of Christmas lights. Santa then throws Zin in the pool, not only drowning the flop, but electrocuting him as well. This also cuts the power to the house. One of the final 2 guys is killed by crossbow after calling the police for help. Lastly, the final guy, the goody 2-shoes of the group, heads for the laptop and notices that their channel has finally hit 5 million subscribers because of these killings which are being broadcast on their channel thanks to Santa. He is burned alive by Santa, and shortly after, the police arrive and find out that the remaining body parts of all 4 men are used as ornaments on a Christmas tree. So yeah. Now, as fun as it was to see Danny Trejo beat the living shit out of these 4 assholes, the first 30 minutes of the episode is just them being insufferable, jobless, queer-baiting, money-hungry jocks with no social awareness. So Bryce Hall, basically. But what makes this episode so bad, in my opinion? I think the main thing I really dislike about it is the fact that these characters are just not that interesting, and there really isn't any redeeming qualities to them, which makes you care so little about them in the end. It's okay to center your story on a group of assholes, but at least try to make them slightly likable so that you feel something when they die besides happiness that it's finally over. The fact that they just didn't give any character traits to Santa also blows my mind, because you have an A-list actor, Danny Trejo, on your show, and he says 2 words throughout the whole thing. It's such a shame that they wasted him like this. He could have done so much more than just stand there and look scary. At that point, just hire an extra or an unknown actor like they did in AHS NYC for Big Daddy. I don't really know what else to say. The story is weak. The dialogue is fucking atrocious, which is typical for the latest few seasons of American Horror Story and basically every episode of the spinoff, but it's especially bad in this episode. All the characters are most definitely trying to sound hashtag hip and hashtag cool and hashtag down with the kids, but they just don't come across that way. It's so millennial, it's painful. The only one with more to his character is the guy who played Artie in Glee, but even he is so boring. Do I even need to sit down and complain about things like cinematography, editing, and costumes, or do y'all get the gist at this point? Like, it's bad, we all know that. There's nothing interesting going on visually, which is just sad, but not unexpected from American Horror Story at this point. I could not care less about rewatching this episode ever again. The last time I watched it, I showed my boyfriend the episode because this video was actually supposed to be out months ago, but I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, so I showed him in preparation for this video. I am gonna say that this episode is one of the worst of season 1 of American Horror Stories. I cannot decide if I hate this episode or the final episode of season 1 more, and with that, I don't really think I have much else to say on the matter. Don't worry, babes. The next episode that we're going to be talking about in this series is genuinely pretty good for this show. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!